Right now, Bitcoin is sitting at a very important point in the market, not because of hype, not because of news, but because of structure. Over the past few weeks, price has been moving within a very clear range. And when markets spend time consolidating like this, they're usually preparing for their next move. In this short update, we're going to take a quick look at the Bitcoin chart and focus on the levels that actually matter right now. No predictions, no noise, just structure, context, and what the market is currently telling us. Because when you understand where Bitcoin is sitting within the broader picture, it becomes much easier to understand what could happen next. This is Memes to Markets. Let's take a look at the chart. So here we are on the Bybit Bitcoin USDT perpetual chart, looking at the 4-hour time frame. And what you'll notice straight away is this fixed range volume profile that I've applied to the chart. Now, if we look closely, Bitcoin has been trading in a tight range since the beginning of February. During that time, price found a temporary bottom around the 6th of February, and since then we've been seeing a series of higher lows forming inside this range. So while price has been largely sideways, it has actually been slowly building structure to the upside. Recently, we saw price break above the value area high of this range, pushing up toward the $73,450 level. But once price reached that area, it found resistance and rejected. Since then, price has pulled back and is now holding support on top of that value area high. And this is where things get interesting. From a technical perspective, we now have two main scenarios. The first scenario is that this level holds as support. If buyers continue to defend this area, we could see price bounce from here and move back up toward this intraday level just above the current range. If that level breaks, the next key area I'll be watching is the anchored VWAP downtrend around $75,000. Now the question becomes, do we reject at that level and fall back below the previous high, re-entering the range? Or do we break above it and continue the move higher? The second scenario is the bearish case. If price fails to hold this value area high and drops back into the range, then the next level to watch is the point of control, sitting around $68,298. That's the price where the most volume has traded within this range. If that level fails to hold as support, then the next target becomes the value area low. And below that, we start looking toward the $60,000 to $58,000 zone. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. If Bitcoin manages to hold this value area high and continue higher, then the next major zone of interest sits around $93,000 to $96,000. This area lines up with an anchored VWAP from the all-time high, making it a natural place where we might expect resistance. If price reaches that region, it will be very interesting to see how Bitcoin reacts. But we also have to consider the downside risk. If price breaks back into the range and continues lower, losing that $60,000 to $58,000 zone, then the market structure becomes much more bearish. At that point, we could start looking at a move toward the weekly level around $54,000. And if that level fails as well, we could see the market open the door to much deeper downside. To understand that possibility, we can zoom out even further. If we apply a fixed range volume profile from the November 2020 bull run up to current price. We can see that the value area low of that entire range sits around $30,000. That level has acted as both support and resistance in the past, which makes it a very important structural zone. Another thing to notice is how the value area high of that larger range has recently been acting as support. Price has now bounced from that level twice. So this area is clearly significant. But if this level is eventually lost, then range theory suggests that price would naturally rotate back toward the point of control, which sits around $57,000 to $58,000. And if that level fails, the next major destination becomes the value area low near $30,000. So right now, Bitcoin is sitting at a very important point. We're either seeing a potential continuation higher, building structure above the range, or we're seeing a temporary pause before a deeper move down. What do you think? Do you believe Bitcoin is holding strong here? Are we heading toward new highs? Or are we entering a deeper bear market? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for joining us today on Memes to Markets, and I'll see you in the next video.